All right, it should be up where we're going to have conversations about the information and the training and stuff that you need to be successful in the future. The links below, it should be set up for you to fill out a short questionnaire. It takes you less than a minute, and then it's up an appointment for us to talk about what you need. This isn't a sales call. This is a conversation of where you are, the things that you're doing, and what's going on with you as you try to start an internet business. That link's below. All right, so how do we survive this economic period? So I've been thinking about that today. I've been thinking about it, and I was like, you know what? Let's go ahead and talk about the pathway to success. And the first thing you have to do is to get a hold of your money. And this is where money management comes in. You've got to know what's going on with your money. You've got to have a budget, have a plan, and know how you're spending your money. This is critical because, once again, ESPN did this special, 30 for 30 broke. People who made tens of millions to $100 million and ended up broke. The tax man is responsible because the tax man took 37% and their agent took 10%. So that was 47. So half the money was gone off the top. But ESPN 30 for 30 broke is a good thing to watch because you must get on top of your money. You must get on top of your money. You must have a budget. You must manage your money very well. That's the first step. That's the first step. Now, the second step is where a lot of you and we part. You must do something to make more money. And I'm gonna give you an example because I put up a video talking about doing the gig economy, and I got a lot of people. You shouldn't advise people to drive that much because they're ruining and wrecking their car. I got a question. Would you rather have a car with a lot of miles on it, or would you rather be homeless? Which would you pick? And I guarantee you that now 100% of you would pick, I'll take the car with a lot of miles on it versus being homeless. There was my old Nextdoor, because I don't know if you understand how Nextdoor used to work. I don't know if it still works like this, but typically, when it was good, you had to live in the neighborhood, right? And they send you a postcard and then you log in. Now it's like kind of crazy. You got people in multiple neighborhoods talking to each other. But I get these alerts from my old Nextdoor talking about homeless people. And a lady put up a post talking about this homeless guy. And she said, I haven't seen him. Have you seen him? Concerned. And then there was a whole conversation about this homeless guy. Back in the day when I used to live in Sandy Springs, there was 2 homeless people. And they were pretty much just there. They were non-combative. I didn't hear any issues. And when I was living in Buckhead, because it was funny, because I used to live in Buckhead, but I did all my shopping and stuff in Sandy Springs. And I would see a vast number of homeless people, just dramatically increased. So once again, you got an option. You can work hard, you can work a lot of hours, or you can be homeless. Which one would you prefer? Which one would you prefer? What would you pick? Because this homeless thing is a very real issue that's going on in America right now. Very real issue. And one of the things that is happening is people I think they're still stuck on the pandemic vibe, so to speak, because there was a lot of money in the economy during the pandemic because the government just created $6 trillion and shoved it into the economy, and this increased the price of everything. This is one of the reasons that we have had dramatic inflation. And the inflation numbers are like 3.6 and 3.6 for overall inflation, and core inflation like 4.4. And like I said, many people feel that the Fed is going to stop raising rates. We don't know. We will find out in December, and we'll find out in 2024. But let me share a story with you. And this is one of the things that saved me. When I was out there and I was doing things and I was in the economy doing more actually saved me. Doing a lot more saved me. And one of the things that I have seen is a lot of people are trying to do less, but get the results of those who are doing more. And it's just not going to happen, because the storage auction business, which I used to love that business. I used to love that business because it was so intriguing. It was like, when you were a kid, I don't know, when I was a kid, we were not permitted to go into our parents' room and ramble through stuff. That was a big no. Imagine being a kid that grew up in that environment where it was a no to go through people's stuff, to get in a business where you literally get paid to go through people's stuff. The prison letters, oh my God, the prison letters were the best. It was amazing. Doing more, establishing a business will keep you from the poorhouse. Now, with the gig economy, I saw a lot of comments about the gig economy, that you shouldn't do the gig economy full time. I can tell you from my observations on YouTube, there's a ton of people who are doing gig work full time. A ton of people. There's a ton of people who are doing DoorDash full time. There are a ton of people who are doing Instacart full time. There's a ton of people who are doing multi-apping. I met this girl who would drive for Uber, she would do DoorDash, and she would do Instacart. She would have all three apps on at the same time. And she's like, when she said she started doing that, she started to get $250 to $400 days. It was like the Uber thing would go off, or the DoorDash thing would go off, or the Instacart thing would go off. And she said it kept me pretty busy. And she was like, I think she was doing like $1,500 off the top, because you got to subtract gas and all this other stuff. And it kept her pretty busy. She was able to make more money than she ever made working a job. Now, this was a while ago. I don't know how she's doing now. I don't know how Uber is working. I don't know how Lyft is working. I don't know how DoorDash is working. I don't think, and just going ahead and looking at the comments, there were people who were talking about during the pandemic, they was making like $6,000 a month just from DoorDash. I don't think that's the case today. I don't think that's the case. So what you want to do, and this is with you keeping your job, I know there's this big fantasy, I'm going to quit my job and start a business. You should keep your job. And this is one of the things we're going to get into with talking about the training, the setups, and all this other stuff. Because there are many people who don't understand the benefit of starting a business today and how that's going to manifest in the future. There's a lot of people who just do not understand the vastness of the benefits of starting a business the proper way. Because there's a lot of stuff on YouTube. There's videos on YouTube talking about you shouldn't start a holding company. There's videos on YouTube, you shouldn't get an LLC. You should keep your business as a sole proprietor. That's something I don't agree with, because if you keep your business as a sole proprietor, that's going to keep you broke and poor, because I've never heard of a sole proprietorship becoming a mega corporation. It's never happened, because essentially with the whole the layout, the way I see it in my head, the way that I'm working on this stuff is you want to go ahead and set up, keep your job. Let's go through the steps. Number one, financial management. Get your money straight. Number two, have a budget. Number two, keep your job. Number three, create additional income. And I'm not talking about you got to become a millionaire. Essentially, if you had a job, and I've put this out here before, you work Monday through Friday, and I know this is a lot, but if you worked every weekend and you went hard on Uber and you made like after gas, like $500, and you did this every weekend, that's $2,000 a month, that's $24,000 a year. That's quite significant. So to go ahead and make it through this eras, we must prep ourselves to do more, because when we do more and we go ahead and increase and put ourselves in a certain situation, we're in a position where we can win. We're in the position where we can really win. So That's, in my mind, the analysis. Number one, financial management. Number two, create additional income. And once again, let's go ahead and talk about the numbers. When I say create additional income, you should be shooting for, I'm gonna say, $1,000 extra per month. Whatever you're doing, $1,000 extra per month. There's a lot of people who are talking about creating a YouTube channel and getting there. And there's so many things with YouTube. You start a YouTube channel and then you go ahead and you get there. It depends upon the topic, it depends upon the audience, it depends upon your posting schedule. There's a lot that goes into that with setting up a YouTube channel. I started a new YouTube channel that's almost monetized, and it's taken me it'll be 4 months around Thanksgiving, and I think it's 180 hours away from being monetized, watch hours. And I have actually started a channel and got it monetized in 2 months. We will see. And this channel right here is something I'm doing really specifically, so we will see how this goes. And then starting a YouTube channel to make extra money can be a fleeting experience. I would say that. It could be very fleeting because, all right, I know this girl named Molly who's in this program, and it's quite expensive, and she's starting to do really, really well on YouTube, and it's taken her a long, long time. So who knows? Maybe you start a YouTube channel and you blow up. Who knows? Who's to say? But one of the things that you need to do is to go ahead and create a different kind of way of creating money. One of the things that you need to do, really need to do, is look at what you can do to create income and what you can do to create money. Whatever it is, and once again, have that budget, then make more money, keep your main job. And let's talk about that, because everybody wants to quit their job. You know, it's like the number of videos. You can go to the YouTube search bar and put "I quit my job" and you will get hit a flood of videos. It's been 20 something years since I've had a job. So I don't really know what people are going through with jobs and doing this thing. But one of the things that I see is a lot of hate. People who hate their job, hate the situation that they're in, that they just literally hate it. And I don't know how that goes, but for me, back in the day, long time ago, having a job was a respectful thing to do. And other than when I got into that storage auction, not the storage auction, but when I got into the homeless thing and I started working all those BS jobs, those were jobs that I would come home and it's like, man, what were you doing today? That was just crazy. So a big part of success is actually doing the thing on a certain level. So one of the things that I would recommend that you do, keep your job. Don't quit your job. Keep your job. Do more. Set yourself up to be doing more, because the Great Recession, because I was working, I was starting a business, I entered the Great Recession in a good position financially. I didn't feel the Great Recession. Personally, I didn't feel it. So what you can do is put yourself in a situation where you're not going to feel the recession. You're not going to be impacted by the pricing of stuff. So what you have to do is to go ahead and prep yourself, get yourself ready so that you can be a person who can be, in a word, kind of recession proof, where yes, there's a recession that's going on. There's all kinds of things. There's high inflation, housing prices are high, but you're able to live your life the way that you want to live your life during this recession. That's key. That is really key. All right, so once again, definitely next week. Next week is Thanksgiving. So we will not be doing, I don't know, probably not on Thanksgiving. But I'll have to think about that. But we will be doing these interviews, these conversations, and talking about these things. So one of the things, the links below to go ahead, and I should have it set up where you can fill out the questionnaires and set up an appointment so we can start having these conversations. All right, so that's all I got for you guys today. I will see you in the next one.